Welcome to part 3 of the Wan Li Chang Ching tutorial. Last time we did the gatehouse, and today we are going to do the tower module behind me here. Alright, so we've already done the tour and everything, so let's immediately get started with putting down the foundation module. Now, of course, this is designed to tack on to either side of the gatehouse, just right over there. In fact, let me explain just a little bit. So this block right here is exactly equivalent to this block right here. So when you're going to build one of these, if you want to do, if you want to lay out your modules ahead of time, you need to account for one block on either side of that right there to clip in to either that side or this side of the tower module. You remember when we got started, you can see over there an example where we've got the gatehouse and right there, and then a tower module right beside it, and then we've got wall modules and then another tower and wall and tower and so forth. Of course, the wall is going to be part 4 next time, where we'll take a look at first the straight series of modules, and then we'll do a more advanced topic about how to bend the patterns and everything around that. But for today, what we're going to be doing is this entire tower here. So it's going to take a little while. Let's get started. In fact, let's start right here, which is, of course, going to be equivalent to that block right there. But this is a symmetrical tower, by the way. So if we took this tower and we split it in half, the right side is going to be exactly the same as the left side. So let's start with the left side and do some counting so we can make sure we get the foundations correct. Now, if you've already built a gatehouse over there, this block section, this entire slice here, is already going to be built. So you want to account for that. So make sure you're not off by 1. So I'll put a torch down there for that one. And then we'll count for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turn the corner, 1, 2. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 14, 15, 18, 19, 20, 21. And then 2 more, and then 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then this 7th block right here is going to be the next section for what would probably be a wall module there. So if you haven't built anything over in this direction yet, you can go ahead and build that. You're just going to have to remember to account for that whenever we start placing the module. It's easy to tell if you're going to be off by 1 or not, because if you look at the crenellations up here on top of the wall, you can see I've divided it. I've divided the modules right in the middle of this open section right here. So you see we've got open sections here, 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 and here. You can see that they all tie into each other on the wall very cleanly, just like so. Alright, so let's see. And the depth of the wall is, of course, going to be, not counting this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, and then 14 blocks to get all the way over there. 15, counting the torch. It should be easy to tell because if you've already built any other module, like a gatehouse or something, this is going to be already, the width is already going to be established for you. But if you're starting with a tower, you want to make sure and get the count correct. So let me just pause here and give you a good top-down view of the entire thing. Of course, the filler blocks here are optimized. So you only have to build the shell of the building. You don't have to fill it in solid. I chose this texture here also because it's easier for you to count blocks and double-check me. Very occasionally, I will be off by 1 on something and make a counting mistake. It doesn't happen too often, but it has been known to happen. So, of course, the tutorial is designed for you to be able to pause and build everything, because this is far too many blocks to do. Well, it might be enough, but it's far too many blocks to do one of those reverse time-lapse things. So since I can only drill down so far, I try and do it this way. In fact, whenever I want to rebuild something, this is how I slice it up for myself. so I can see what I'm doing. And it's nice and easy. You can walk on each slice as you go and check things. I think it makes the most sense. Here's where that's where our torch we put down, the first one over there. So for the next slice, we're of course going up one level, and we want to place down the block patterns for the base of the wall, right here, for the diorite and the cobbled deep slate. All right, so let's scan along here. Not too much counting to do. It's pretty self-explanatory. Just like so. And if you want to divide the wall down the center, draw a center line right through there. The left side here is going to be symmetrical to the right side over here as well. So I think you can pretty clearly see that. Even if we took the centermost point here and drew a center line that way. Oh. You can see here that this pattern actually has four-way symmetry. So once you do 1/4 of this pattern, all you have to do is either flip or rotate to get the remaining details for the entire module. Because that's done very much on purpose, because how I designed this module here was I only really built 1/4 of it, because I designed it to be rotated and copied and pasted and everything. That way. So let's move on to the next phase. The next phase is a real easy phase right here. You want to take everything you did in the last phase and stack it up by one block level. Okay. Next phase after that is easy again. Take everything you did on the first and second phase and stack it up to another block level for a total of 3 blocks, just as you see done here. All right, the next phase after that, though, we have a couple of setbacks on the blocks here. They're set back by 1, the diorite is. The cobbled deep slate is just going straight up. Just like so, pretty easy. The details on the wall is, it's meant to be simple and easy to build because you're going to have to build an awful lot of wall modules. I mean, it is the Great Wall, after all. So that's what makes it great. You have to build a lot of it. So let's start on the next section here. Easy phase right behind the diorite, set back 1 block. And we want to build the cobbled deep slate like you see done here, except for the corners of the towers. And then bear in mind behind that here, of course, the back is exactly the same as the front that we're taking a look at. So it's not necessary to cover that, since they are the same. So here, you only need to see it one time. Next section, we are doing the block outlines for the wall section here. All right, next section after that. For this phase here, you want to take what you did on the previous phase and stack it up by 1 block. See? It's just the same. It's just 2 blocks tall. All right, next phase after that is another cobbled deep slate phase. Right here. Where for the wall here, we're of course using cobbled deep slate for the mortar, as it were, and diorite for the outlining of the bricks. All right, next phase after that, more diorite. Right here. Pretty simple pattern. It's not going to get complicated until we get to, well, until we start putting the room in. But then when we get to the top section up there, then we'll have to slow down a bit. But this first stuff is pretty easy. So next phase after that, take what you did on the previous phase and stack it up to 2 blocks in height. Like that there. Next phase after that, we've got another mortar level here with the cobbled deep slate. just like so. You've already done a couple of these. They're pretty easy, just some straight runs and some corners of cobbled deep slate. Next phase after that, another diorite level. In fact, this block right here is going to be roughly equivalent to this block right down here, because we're going to have a repeating pattern. You can kind of see that, you know, in the wall sections back there. A repeating pattern coming into the wall sections here. Alright, next phase after that, you know the drill. You want to take what you did in the previous phase and stack it up to 2 blocks in height. Just straight on top. Alright, next phase after that, another cobbled deep slate mortar phase. Next phase after that, we are doing another diorite phase. Of course, this here is the same as what we did back down here. The pattern is repeating itself again. And the next phase after that, you want to take what you just did and stack it up to 2 blocks in total height. Alright, next phase after that, we've got another cobbled deep slate phase here, except we got a couple of changes. We got an overhanging block there, and whoop. And it's projecting forward a little because we're getting to the top of the wall modules on either side there. Like so. Next phase after that, we're starting to build the top of the wall. Not the crenellations just yet, but almost. We've got some overhanging diorite here now on the sides. No changes for the body of the tower itself, though. I suppose I should have remarked that if you want to build just like a lone tower as a watchtower, you can take the front face here and remove the sidewall module tie-in right there and just build it straight across. Build it just straight across there. And then you could have like a lone tower module. If you want perhaps a 90-degree bend in your wall, you would take this face right here and build it on this side, and then take the wall module section and then tack it on to the back here. And then you would have a 90-degree bend right there if you want a corner tower with some walls attached to it. Next section here, we've got a bit more overhanging diorite right there on the sides. Like so. Next section after that, you want to stack that up to 2 blocks in height there for that section. And then we've got another mortar level for the body of the tower. Alright, next section after that, we've got a little setback on the diorite here. And then a bit of overhanging cobbled deep slate here for the tower. Alright, now here we've got the walkway for the top of our wall module, and then the first room inside. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at what's going to be the exterior first, and then we'll double back and look at the interior. And that's going to be our pattern for the remainder of the video. Got a bit of wood here, and some stone buttons. Like so. Alright, now let's turn around and take a look at this section here from what's going to be the inside. So you want to go ahead and put down the deep slate tiles right there. That's going to be the first floor of the interior of our tower. Like so. Let me get a little bit of altitude and show you this entire section from the top down. I think with all the filler blocks, it's pretty easy to tell the counts for all of that. Like so. And let's move on to the next phase. Let's start with the top down of that, because we got quite a lot of wood to place now. Start with the exterior, though. Note the fences here. I think that's nether brick fences, actually, I think. Even though I've textured it with deep slate tiles, because there should be a deep slate tile fence. But, alas, maybe someday. Alright, now let's take a look at the inside. We've got our first little half of a door there. You'll have to put down the entire door, though. And here's the detailing for the inside. We got a whole lot of these spruce trap doors that we're going to be putting down. We've got our first ladder right here to take us up to the higher reaches of the tower. It's like so. And we will go on now to the next phase. So here we're building a bit of the diorite crenellations on top of the tower, on top of the wall module, that is. And here for the interior of the tower, we've got our first bits of dark prismarine that we're putting down. I really like using dark prismarine for the Asian type build. It's kind of like the closest thing we have in Minecraft to jade. Of course, jade comes in more colors than just that. But good imperial jade is like one of those prismarine green type shades. I mean, there's also white and red and all sorts of other colors, but I think green jade looks the best for this. It pairs well with the deep slate tiles and the wood. Gives us, and of course the diorite and the cobbled deep slate, gives us a very pleasing palette, I think, for this type of style. Of course, you can use other materials if you so choose. All right, here, a bit more of the crenellation. You remember the open crenellations I talked about earlier. That's some of that right there. Let's scan around the exterior first. Because generally when I make a style, I like to design a color palette or just a palette of blocks I will use for it. And I tend to use the same ones over and over and the same patterns. So I can make various modules, the types of buildings. And it also lets me take bits and pieces of those buildings and make new things with them, like like the 1D Ching Ching right here. I say all that because you can use various bits and pieces of the styles and motifs that I use in these builds, and you can use it in your own builds. It's sort of take the bits and pieces and recombine them into entirely new things. Like if you've got just some simple modules, you can do quite a lot with that, actually. All right, next section here. I think this is going to be the top of the crenellations on the side here. So after this phase, we'll be focusing only on the main body of the tower itself. All right, it's been some pretty simple patterns on the interior here. It's mostly going straight up. you can kind of get an example of what I like to do interior things. Firstly, for that, you have to have thick walls, and they at least need to be 1 block thick, and then you have another block behind that. And then I like to outline the bottoms with the wood here, and then the corners with these vertical tree trunks, and then divide them out into panels. And then from there, you can fill them in with various materials. Here it's dark prismarine, but you can use, lapis, crimson hyphae, all sorts of other good stuff. So we finished with that, so now we're going to be focusing on, I think we're going to start here on the corner of the tower, and then take a look at the exterior, and then, of course, the interior. Finishing off our little window here with another transverse beam and a couple of stone buttons. Like so. Let's take a look at the interior here. And, of course, this is the bottom of a paper lantern. It's just a block of I've completely forgotten what this. Give me a minute. I'm not gonna look it up. It's sea lantern. There we go. Goodness, I'm recording early in the morning. Sea lantern, and then we've got the red banners on either side of that, and this is just dead center in the middle of the room. All right, let's go on to the next phase here. And then on top of our sea lantern, we've just got some spruce planks and then 4 more banners on top of that to finish off our paper lantern, and then we'll hang it with a like a fence from the center of the room, like so. And let's move on to our next phase here. Exterior phase is pretty simple. We just got cobbled deep slate and a big square. All around the exterior here. And on the inside, we've got a fence, and then we've got upside down spruce stairs on the interior there. All right, next phase. You can see we're putting on a ceiling slash floor level. Let's do the exterior first, though. Right there. I'll just show you the top down here. Pretty simple detailing, and let's land here and now go inside and take a look at our first finished interior space. Very simple. We've just got a couple of transverse beams across there and some coffers. Well, I suppose I probably should have moved the beam and added another beam on either. Well, that's fine. All right, here now we've got some overhanging diorite here because we're coming to the top of that tower there. It's kind of like when we had this first bit of overhanging diorite down here. It's going to be similar thing back up here. Otherwise, it's just a straight diorite phase on the exterior, and then simple detailing for an interior room. All right, just some simple wooden detailing. Right there. And let's go on to the next phase. So for the exterior, you want to take all the diorite that you just laid down and stack that up by 1 block level. All right, so on the interior here, we're back to the dark prismarine and the tree trunk vertical elements. And of course, the end rods for illumination. I like to use the end rods and the paper lanterns, of course, in the Asian type builds. It's more fitting, I think. End rods as a lighting solution is a little bit more elegant than a standard torch. I mean, this isn't a lever, by the way. This is a torch. I'm usually holding a torch. Sometimes it's a lever if I'm doing a time lapse, but it's here it's a torch because I have all the particle effects turned off and everything. Because that can get in the way of the video quality. If I'm trying to do a tutorial, you want to see things clearly. You don't want things blocking your view. On the inside, like on the outside here, you can see we're pretty much stacking things up. Another level. Exterior face, really simple. Just a big square of cobbled deep slate set one block back behind the dial right there. So on the interior here, extend up the dark prismarine, and then we've got some detailing for some trapdoors. Otherwise, everything's just going straight up like that there. And I think in these corners here, that can probably be filler blocks. I think that's just some excess that didn't get removed. Back over here again, next level up, we've got more diorite, just right on top of the cobbled deep slate, except we want to set back every several blocks. Like it looks like every 5. There to do the brick patterning, and on the interior here, really simple, just straight tree trunks on their sides, all the way around, and on those little sections there. All right, next section after that, setting back the cobbled the dowel right there again. We don't have cobbled dowel, right? I don't, I wouldn't mind cobbled dowel, right? But we don't have any. Of course, that'd be kind of annoying because then you would have to make sure you silk touched your dowel, right? Although that's not that wouldn't be too bad. I mean, I wouldn't mind having a cobbled diorite. Cobbled diorite, cobbled granite, cobbled andesite. I doubt we'll ever get that, but I'll never say no to more colors of stone. If you've done any of my tutorials, you know I really like stones for use in building in Minecraft. So on the interior here, you got upside down spruce stairs all across there. Then we go on to the next phase here. You can see we're building some crenellations, sort of pseudo crenellations on the top of the tower here, because they're filled in behind there, so they're just sort of decorative. Just like so. I mean, we did get cobbled deep slate. I don't know why we don't have cobbled andesite, diorite, and granite. Anyway, that be that as it may, here is the ceiling / floor for the next level. I think, yeah, for the next level here. And we'll just tuck down in here and take a look at it from down here. You can see, of course, we've got spruce half slabs right there for the floor. All right, next phase. Pretty simple detailing. There's less and less to build as we get higher up, of course. In fact, I'll just show you that from the top down there. It might be easiest. And we will go on to the next phase here. A lot of trapdoors and fences in this one. In fact, we're now, I think, yeah, we're now to the level where we placed our last bits of stone. So from this point onwards, it's only going to be wood till we get to the roof tiles. And oh, it looks like a filler block is that should be diorite. Yeah. A little error with that there. Alright, next step here. Got some upside down stairs. Right there. And simple interior. Of course, we've got some fences here for you to kind of, but not really, look out of your tower. We are going to have some balconies, though, that we're going to start to build. That's what these are here. So let's start on the corner here. Like so. We've got some half slabs right here. Then simple interior. All right, next phase here. We've got ever more complicated series of right side and upside down stairs and half slabs and trapdoors, fences, and buttons. From this point on forwards. But once you do one of these, all of the other 8 around the exterior are the same. And then in here we've got some upside down stairs. All right, exterior here. We've got quite a lot of upside down stairs and half slabs. Right here. Let's take a look at it from underneath first. And then from above here. Of course, we're putting on the ceiling / floor of the next room. Just like so. And the next phase here. We've got a little guardrail with stairs and half slabs. Mostly stairs, but sometimes an occasional half slab. Right along there. And of course, this is the portion that's designed for you to be able to walk out onto your balcony of your tower. You know, so you can see the Mongols trying to invade from afar, or whoever else. So we've got the corners here, more trap doors, a couple of decorative half slabs right there, and the tree trunks there, the 3 of those, 12 total, being extended upwards. All right, next phase here, we've got, this is an easy phase. We've got some tree trunks in the corners, and then otherwise we've got some transverse beams just going all the way around the building in a big square like that there. Next phase after that, though, we've now gone back to our complicated stair and half slab arrangements. And in the middle, just right dead center in the building, right on top of wherever you placed the previous paper lantern, just right up from here, you want to start building another one. All right, next block from that, we've got another complicated set of stairs and half slabs. Just like so, stairs and half slabs. And then a bit more of the paper lantern. And then a couple of interior stairs right there, 12 of those. All right, next phase here, we've got some of these projecting elements right here with these half slabs. And then now we've got some wooden buttons. And you can use stone if you prefer. It's either or, whatever your favorite color button is. And 12 half slabs in here as well, right on top of those stairs. You got another stair here and then a half slab in front of that. And wherever you can, just, stuff a button on the interior of that. And a fence there for your paper lantern. All right, next phase here. I think we did... No, okay, there are a couple of half slabs right here. And then here are our very complicated corners of these buildings. And on the interior here, we have just a simple arrangement of a lattice work of beams. Which is, of course, going to form the ceiling of this room and the floor of the next one. Which way are we headed? Okay, over this way. It's actually not a floor. I think we've gone as high up in the building as I designed it to go. That's actually going to be an attic space. So I just put down a big slab of dark prismarine. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 by 13. Dark prismarine. And then in front of that, we want to do the detailing for what's going to be our very complicated and curvy Asian roofs. Well, here we've got, of course, the projecting half slabs and the beams out from that. Right out from there. Next phase after that, let's actually start in the middle here. I think it'd be easier. So we've got right dead center in the building, we've got the vertical tree trunk, and then we've got some transverse beams going off from that. And then we've got a big square of planks from that. This is what, 1, 2, 3, 4 diagonal right there. So if you want to build the big box first, and then we can do the exterior detailing right here. Got a half slab over here, just floating in the air. And let's take a look at it from below first. Right there. And then along front here, we've just got the dark prismarine. And of course, we have our curvy Chinese roof corners bending up on the sides here. I mean, we already had a complicated pattern going, and now we're trying to bend it, so it's just go slow and take your time. Right there. Now let's take a look at it from the top down. We've got all that extra obsidian behind there. If that's that may be a little bit too much obsidian. If you want to, you can replace that with cheaper black stone. I guess that would still contrast good enough with the deep slate tiles. So like so. All right, next phase here. Let's actually start in the middle again. Put one tree trunk there, and then we've got just half slab ring right there. And then in front of that, we're going to have the top of our roof layer. So let's go back over here to the corner. We've got 3 half slabs, then a couple of tree trunks, and then some buttons right there. And then we've got our dark prismarine here, and our deep slate half slabs right there for our roof tiling. Alright, I think we've gotten past the worst of it, which was doing this section right here. That was the worst of it. So I think we're actually in the home stretch now, working on the roof. Let's take a look at the patterns for the roof tiling. It's a little bit more complicated than typical Roman roof tiling that I do. I think here that's what, another section of half slabs right there. Just show you the top down. Move on to the next phase here. So if you want, you could start at the corner here and start running, what is that, 8 blocks of dark prismarine that way. And then the interior filling for that is going to be the roof tiling. Right, and then just a tree trunk in the middle there. And then if you want to start in the middle, you can do a big X right there. So right on top of that tree trunk is a block of dark prismarine. You can do in an X shape 4, projecting from that. And that'll give us our central section here for our roof tiling. And then on the corner out here, we want to do 1 block of dark prismarine and 1 block of regular prismarine on all 4 of our corners here for some decorative finials. And then 1 more block of regular prismarine here, 4 total for those to finish off those corners. Then we've got this simple section here, just right on top there. Next section after that, we finished everything here, so we're only focused on the middle section. 9 blocks of dark prismarine and 4 deep slate tile half slabs. And then 5 blocks of dark prismarine after that. 4 blocks of prismarine and whatever you want to put in the middle there. And then do the same thing again, just stack it up. And then 1 final block of regular prismarine on top of that. And then once you have done that, your tower module for the 1D Chang Chang will be complete.